Hello and welcome back to the channel. Collecting Scope 3 data can feel overwhelming. Between finance systems, procurement data, and supplier information, it's not always obvious where to start. In today's video, we're going to walk through the process companies actually use to collect better Scope 3 data and improve it year after year. By the end of this video, you'll have a practical framework you can start using straight away. Let's get into it. So why is Scope 3 data collection so difficult in the first place? Mostly because the data doesn't live in one place. It sits across different systems, owned by different teams, and it's often incomplete. On top of that, some of the most important pieces aren't even inside your organization. Your suppliers hold them. Here's the reassuring part though. Most organizations already have much of the data they need. The real challenge isn't finding it from scratch. It's bringing together what already exists. Before we get into the steps, it's worth being clear about what you're actually collecting. It's supplier information, procurement data, operational activity, and emissions information. Scope 3 data isn't one spreadsheet you fill in once. It's information pulled together from across your business and your supply chain. Now that we know what we're collecting, let's walk through the process step by step. Step 1 is to prioritize your Scope 3 categories. Identify where your biggest emission sources actually are and focus on those material categories first. Don't try to measure everything at once. Start where the impact will be greatest and expand from there. Next, take stock of the data you already have. Finance systems, procurement platforms, your ERP, operational records. Most organizations are sitting on more than enough data to build an initial Scope 3 inventory without asking anyone for anything new. From there, build your supplier inventory. Identify your strategic suppliers and rank them, both by spend and by emissions impact. Not every supplier deserves the same level of attention, so use this ranking to decide where to prioritize engagement. Once you've done that, start collecting the data you already own. Purchase orders, invoices, spend reports, supplier lists. A good rule of thumb is to use the data you already own before asking suppliers for anything new. Now it's time to request primary supplier data. That means product carbon footprints, facility emissions, renewable electricity use, and science-based targets. Begin with your highest impact suppliers and expand supplier by supplier as the program matures. Finally, fill in the remaining gaps. This is where activity data, industry emissions factors, secondary datasets, and hybrid calculations come in. In reality, almost every organization uses a combination of estimates and supplier-specific data. That's exactly how mature Scope 3 programs work. Which brings us to data maturity. As your program matures, you'll typically move through 3 levels of data: spend data, activity data, primary supplier data. As you move from one to the next, your data quality improves because you're moving closer to information that comes directly from the supplier. Before you start calculating emissions, take a moment to validate the data you've collected. Check the reporting period, check the units, check for completeness and consistency. Your emissions calculations are only as reliable as the data going into them. Now it's worth naming the common challenges honestly because every organization hits them. Low supplier response rates, different reporting formats from different suppliers, business systems that don't talk to each other, and gaps in information you simply don't have yet. If you're running into these challenges, you're not alone. Every organization goes through them and they improve with each reporting cycle. The goal isn't perfection, it's continuous improvement. Start with estimates, expand your supplier coverage over time, improve data quality year on year, and automate wherever you can. Scope 3 programs become genuinely more valuable as the underlying data matures. So what does this look like for organizations that have got good at it? They lean on existing business data, they engage suppliers directly, they update their numbers regularly, and they treat the whole thing as continuous improvement rather than a one-off project. Leading organizations don't wait around for perfect data before they start taking action. That's really the shift that matters here. Moving from estimates to primary data gives you higher accuracy, better supplier insight, more confident decisions, and stronger reporting. Better information leads to better conversations with suppliers, better procurement decisions, and Ultimately, better decarbonization outcomes. And that's the real payoff. Better data enables sharper supplier engagement, more reliable emissions forecasting, reduction planning based on real priorities, and better procurement decisions before contracts are even signed. This is what better data actually changes inside an organization. Put together, this gives you a clear path forward. Data collection leads to emissions measurement leads to supplier engagement, and supplier engagement leads to emissions reduction. Every stage builds on the one before it. So here's what to take away from all this. Collect first and improve continuously. Start with the data you already have. Prioritize your key suppliers, improve your data quality every year, and use what you learn to actually reduce emissions. Progress beats perfection when it comes to collecting Scope 3 data. If you're wondering where to actually begin, here's your starting point. Identify your priority categories, map out your existing data sources, engage your key suppliers, and build yourself an annual improvement plan. Honestly, the hardest part is just getting started. I'd love to know where you are in your own Scope 3 journey. Are you just getting started, or are you already collecting supplier data? Let us know in the comments. We read every one. If you found this guide useful, give it a like and subscribe for more practical videos on Scope 3, supplier engagement, and corporate decarbonization. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.